Hello and welcome to this session where I'd like to share with you the tools I'm using on a daily basis to help me with my work. So either building PowerPoint presentations, seminars, database, even looking for papers, so literature reviews. And so for this, I use ChatGPT basically, and there were two options before that were, I would say, handed over to me. One was to learn how to code. Honestly, I didn't have much time, and I think to become very good at coding, you need to spend a lot of time, especially given the things I wanted to do, the kind of apps I wanted to do. And so I was quite frustrated because few ideas, but very few tools to implement the ideas. And I was very happy when ChatGPT came out because it helped me achieve things I didn't think would be possible before without knowledge of coding. So what I'll try to share with you, at least today, is maybe one example on how I use ChatGPT to build codes in PowerPoint to help me, for instance, navigate through sections. You can use it to homogenize slides, to add or remove images, to build anything you want. So really, it's really powerful. So let's go. So the first thing, of course, you need to have a presentation. So I have this polymer flooding presentation, and as you might see, there are quite a few sections. So the idea is, okay, I like to be able to navigate through the sections either in slideshow mode or in normal mode. So the first thing you need to have is a developer tab into PowerPoint. If you don't have it, you can ask ChatGPT to tell you how to activate it. Or you go into File, you go in Options, and in Options, in Customized Ribbon, you have here all the tabs that you can remove or add to your PowerPoint. So once this is done, here the PowerPoint is in PPTX. It's likely we will have to change it to PPTM to enable macro, but let's see a bit further what it says. So I paid for the ChatGPT $20 version every month, and so what I want to do is ask to build a VBA code in PowerPoint to help me navigate through the sections. So it's like with the word simulation, it's garbage in, garbage out. The more precise and details you give, the more precise you are and the more details you give, and of course, the better the results. So let's say, write code in VBA, so Visual Basic, for PowerPoint to help me navigate through all the sections. So when the user clicks on a button, a window opens listing all the sections in the active presentation, either in normal or full screen mode. Okay. It asks the user for a number. Upon clicking enter, it takes the user to the first slide of the chosen section. So that's already quite detailed, and let's see what section with an S, so it will understand. That's the beauty of it. So it will explain what you have to do, then write the code and tell you how to launch the code and work on that, which is exactly what I want. So taking a few seconds, which is still much faster than the time it would have taken me just to learn how to do that. So it did the code, so you can read what it says, but showing a few things like this. So we'll have to create a button. So for instance, we take the first slide, I go into Visual Basic on the top left. I have this thing here. I right click, I click Insert Module, copy, paste, save, Control S. It says, do you want to save as a file macro? No, so we have to save as another version, which is the macro enabled presentation. Give it a name, if it's not this one, and let's go. So now I have this thing. I'll take the decrease the size of the windows, and I'm gonna insert a button to launch my macro. So up, Here you have options, run macro. Okay, I'll just change maybe the shape of my button. And normally, if I save everything and I click here, it will, so up, slideshow, animation, and transition, animation, slideshow. Yes, okay, it's here. Up, the slideshow, individual window, and there we go. So it gives me the list, navigate to section, and up, I click on 2, and it takes me there. So the idea is if I continue to work on this, I can go click on any section, for instance, 11, up, enter, takes me to 11. So that's a very nice example, a very simple example on how to use ChatGPT to create code. You can do a lot more. Imagine that you want to homogenize a slide title. So a VBA code to homogenize the slide titles and put the Times New Roman font size 28, just to make sure that we see the difference. And so it can also, if you can tell it to remember to use it into the active presentation, but then you can copy paste the macro in different presentations. So that's really the goal, and the idea is you can play around and see what it does. So there we are. So let's see if this one works. I was not very precise. I could probably be more precise. It would be working much better, but let's see. Module up S. And I can either click here or I can go into macro and homogenize title run. So I don't know if it did anything. Oh yes, you see. So Times New Roman 28. And before it was not like this. So you see now before it was Georgia heading 44. And if I run the macro up again, I will just put this slide. So run macro, here, slide titles, run. Up, now it's much smaller. So you see, you can really accelerate the way you work on PowerPoint presentations when you have, for instance, 300 slides and they are all different titles, fonts, and nothing is aligned on left, on right. And if you want to make things looking beautiful and fast without, to do like this, home, change slide, change titles, or these kind of things, for instance. If you have to do this for every slide, or you can use these things, of course, but here with a code and VBA and ChatGPT, you can really accelerate, go much faster. And next time I'll try to show you also for another application on how I use the AI to help me, for instance, build a database.